You're listening to Moments in Between, the podcast where we ditch the filters and get real with local entrepreneurs.
We're your hosts, Amanda Lombardo and Jeff Mondlock, part-time professionals,
but full-time curious, so pour yourself something strong.
Coffee or whiskey, no judgment.
And kick back and get ready for the unfiltered stories that might just change how you see things.
Or at least make you laugh.
All right, welcome back. We are here with a super special guest who was kind enough to let me get her in front of the camera before, too, for some branding photos, Siobhan Strickhart. Now, I want you to tell us just a brief, little bit about you, what you do, your business, and why we're going to have you on here. And yeah, just first off, it's cheers.
Yes.
Because we have, clearly this is just water.
Cheers.
There's no tequila involved.
Definitely not.
Yep.
All right, so I'm Siobhan Strickhart. I am a psychotherapist who specializes in trauma. I have my own private practice. I started around 2.5 years ago, so it's fairly new. Prior to that, I worked for another private practice. And prior to that, I worked as the accommodations coordinator at Princeton University. And so I have a lot of experience when it comes to the different layers that people experience in terms of struggles, changes, how they adapt to certain situations, how their past experiences influence the way that they act towards either certain people or certain experiences that they're being exposed to. And I focus on trauma because I realized early on that people really struggle with either their relationships and their personal lives, or even the environment that they're in, if it's with work. And it stems back to a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times their childhood. What was being modeled for you? Or I work a lot with people who come from fantastic families, but the emotional support wasn't there. And so you can have a roof over your head, you can have clothes on your back and food on the table, but if that emotional support isn't there, then what ends up happening is you might feel very insecure when it comes to talking about emotions. You might not have the vocabulary to effectively articulate, this is what I'm feeling. And so the go-tos are always, well, I'm sad, I'm angry at you, or I'm happy. But there's so many layers to those emotions. And so once I figured that out, that's when I really honed in on, this is my niche, this is my passion. It's childhood trauma, attachment trauma, and then that's what led me here.
So do most therapists have like kind of that specialty type of niche, I guess? Is that important? Like, how did you end up coming to that?
I personally think it is. Not everyone has to. You can have a broad range of things that you specialize in. I came to it, previously I worked at a private practice that specifically did DBT, so dialectical behavioral therapy. And I love DBT because it's skills-based. And I don't think that a lot of people grew up learning skills. And skills could be mindfulness. So I'm feeling really angry. What can I do to calm myself down? What can I do to help my emotions regulate? And what I learned when I was being trained in that and working with clients is it never really got deep enough for me, because we were learning these skills that you didn't learn when you were younger, but also why, what's going on? And so things would come up, and that's when I really realized, that trauma piece is missing. And so I love using those together because we dive deep, but then when you're not in therapy with me, you're able to handle the situations on your own. I'm giving you those skills that you didn't know. And now if you do feel really stressed, if you feel overwhelmed, you know what to do.
Oh, that's amazing. I think we all need those tools,
Absolutely.
And my favorite is the people who say, therapy, I don't need therapy. I don't just, those are the people probably need those tools a little bit more.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I've got a lot of those. Most of my family was actually like that.
Well, it's scary too.
It is.
If you talk about it, it makes it real. But then it also requires you to change.
Yeah.
Who wants to do that?
Exactly. Yeah.
What led you to this type of work?
To trauma? I always liked helping people. So I'm, again, the oldest of 4 girls, so I feel like it was just in my nature. But I also love trying to figure things out. And so, I'll watch all the documentaries, of course, murder mysteries, things like that. I just love figuring out, where did this start? And I just feel like this was like the perfect opportunity for me. I wouldn't do anything else.
That must be like such a freaking awesome feeling though, as a therapist, to unlock that. Because everyone's like, oh, I went to one therapy session and I didn't learn what my problem was, so I'm done.
Yeah.
But like when you put the work in and you start uncovering, I know with my own therapist, like I constantly have new revelations every day, it feels like. But I've been with her for, it's like 2016, 2017, so it's like it's pretty neat to see how far you come, you know, and I'm sure she feels pretty, taps herself on the shoulder, like pat on the back, like, yeah, I figured this kid out for a little bit.
But you're also the one doing the change, right? You're the one doing the work. So the therapist, she's supporting you and making you aware of certain things, but she's not doing the work for you.
That's
so
true.
You have to give yourself that pat on the back too.
My arms are too short. The dinosaur arms are just great when you have to pay the bill. I can't reach it. No, but therapy is such an important thing. And Amanda and I are both entrepreneurs, and that's our big thing. Is we're trying to focus on mental health with this podcast, but also helping like business owners and small business owners know what's out there and know what's important. So, talk a little bit about mental health, therapy, and business. Like, why is it so important to have someone to kind of bounce your thoughts with?
Well, a lot of people think, oh, instead of going to a therapist, I'll talk to my husband, my wife, my partner, my friends. And that is great. I think everyone needs that support system. But a therapist is going to be objective. A therapist is going to, the way I do therapy is I'll be straightforward with you. This is what I see happening. And so it's your job to change it. And that's why I like DBT, because it does give you those skills, because I know for myself, if I go to therapy and my therapist is like, well, this is what's going on, I'm going to ask, well, what do I do? And so it really helps business owners because you have that outlet. But then you're also learning, why are certain things bothering me? Why is it that this one customer that comes in just makes me feel so angry? Or how do I handle conflict? How do I handle if a customer comes in, they're not happy with something? And not take it personally, not think, oh my gosh, I'm failing because this one person, sent back a meal. No, you're not failing. Let's work on that. Why do you feel like you're failing just from that one instance? And so it's so important to just have that person that's going to be objective and straightforward with you.
Yeah, failing is a big word that that entrepreneurs will feel.
Absolutely.
Imposter syndrome, that's a big one that we talk about just between us a lot. So it's nice to have that other look. I could always just go to ChatGPT, and we were talking about
yes,
this
you can.
earlier, and it'll just pretend like I'm doing everything great. It's like you type in there, it's like, wow, Jeff, you're really nailing it in life. I'm like, oh my
Why
gosh.
am I struggling?
Why do I feel horrible? It's like if I'm doing so good. But it's pretty interesting to see. And what are your thoughts about that too? Everyone always asks me as a photographer, AI is like ruining your job, which it is and it isn't. How is it affecting you?
I feel like the same thing. I think, people don't want to necessarily do the work. And I think finances, especially these days, come into it. I think, how could it not play a part into it? And so they see, well, if I just go into ChatGPT and talk to them, they're going to give me feedback and I'm going to be able to use it. But therapy, you have this connection that you really don't have with anyone else, because your therapist is going to know things about you that you might not feel comfortable telling other people. Your therapist is also not your friend or your family member, so they're going to be a lot more direct. They're going to, again, this is just how I approach therapy, but they're going to tell you this is what needs to change. And then if it doesn't, these are the outcomes, and really work with you on your life specifically. ChatGPT isn't going to know who you are. Yes, they might be able to figure out your language and your voice and everything, but that's as deep as that's going to get. And it's scary that people really are moving towards that.
People think they're saving money, but really it's just
It's
a scary thought. Have you thought about switching over to ChatGPT for therapy?
Not really.
Good.
But I sent ChatGPT a photo the other day. I'm like, do I look pretty? And they said yes. I don't know why. I was just, Brian's like, you need to stop talking to ChatGPT.
Wait.
I don't know why.
They gave you an answer on that?
Yes,
Was it
I
like,
don't
I'm
know.
a computer, I don't know.
You look
Siri,
beautiful.
like Alexa tells me, I don't know. Like I said, do you love me?
I don't even know why I added a
I
photo.
don't know love, but ChatGPT's gonna be like, I love you.
You should ask ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I think I was
Get
criticizing
on that
myself
right
in
now.
photos.
Let's see what ChatGPT tells me about love here. But While I do that, Amanda, why don't you dive in before I get to...
I'm just wondering, like, what trainings you needed to get to where you are today in your
That's
career.
a good question. So, aside from my master's degree, so I got my master's degree in clinical mental health counseling, and then I had to have a lot of hours afterwards before my actual licensure. Once I was fully licensed, actually during that whole process, I was trained in dialectical behavioral therapy, and then I was also trained during COVID actually in EMDR, so another form of trauma therapy. And then since then, I have been trained in childhood emotional neglect, and I'm currently continuing my training with EMDR, but more attachment focused. So, I love going to trainings, so
Nice.
yeah, I'll always be a student.
Do you have like a favorite type of therapy? Like, do you prefer EMDR? Do you prefer something else? What's your niche?
So that's a hard question to answer because I think it depends on the client.
Yeah.
So, with EMDR, it's great if you have a memory that's stuck. But for the majority of people, we will start with DBT because I like everyone to have those skills, and then we'll go into I like attachment, and so we'll talk about the attachment styles, trauma. We'll just be able to make these connections, connect the dots so that you have a better understanding of why you're behaving this way. So I feel like once people understand the why, it's like this light bulb goes off. It's like, oh, okay, it makes sense, and I could change it. Because when it comes to trauma, a lot of times if we have that stuckness, then we're stuck at the time that something happened to us. And so if you have a bad relationship with family members, you might go to their house and feel like you are a kid again when you're actually an adult. And so EMDR will help you understand that the way that you're reacting, you have the ability to be an adult. The consequences that were there when you were younger are no longer there.
For someone's like first time going to therapy with you, how can you explain what it's like?
For EMDR or just in general?
Maybe just in general.
Yeah.
In general, I like to have the clients lead the session. So I always have a treatment plan and a plan. And so I always go in there with my idea. But then life happens.
Yeah.
And so that we might not be able to get to that. If we are working on EMDR, because it's such a specific type of therapy, I will do, we'll make sure that there's time because I just don't want there to be any lapses in the in EMDR process. But with therapy, I always tell clients I'm very direct, but I'm nice about it. I'm very solution focused because I think, again, we all need these tools. And so we will talk about what's going on, and then we will also learn, how do I regulate my emotions? If I'm in DBT, we call it the red zone. When I'm in that red zone, how do I effectively communicate when I'm so angry? Or if I want someone to work on their own communication, how do I do that? And so we'll work on that too. I'll go through all the goals with clients, but they often change because I think once someone starts therapy, then they realize that their initial goals are a little different than where it guides you to. Yeah,
So EMDR, I want to dive in a little deeper into what that is. Like, what does it stand for? What does it look like? I know there's different looks to it. Like one of them is like a laser gun, right? You stand there with a gun and
you can, yeah. I usually use the water gun.
Yeah, the water gun is good.
Wait, really?
No.
You're in for trouble. If you sign up, you're getting sprayed. It's a water gun.
Is it actually a laser gun?
No. It's like a laser bar or something, or a light bar, not even laser.
Yeah, it's a light
picture
bar.
like a little laser, and you follow.
Little laser pointer.
Like
It's like
a
a cat.
It's a cat toy.
Yeah.
Cats, they don't got trauma anymore. They cause the trauma.
They do,
It's 'cause
yeah.
they chase the
That's
lasers.
true.
No, but sorry to get off topic there. I'm clearly a very serious person. But dive in. Maybe we could use some EMDR on me and see why I'm like this.
Why am I gullible?
Why-
I believe everything.
You're gonna crack the case.
We'll
for
just
both
do
of us.
a double session. Everyone follow my
Double
lead.
session. That's perfect. No, but explain a little bit about what it is, what it could look like.
So EMDR, it uses eye movement in order to, and it's bilateral stimulation. And so what it does is it reprocesses a memory that you're stuck in. And so the way I always explain it is by telling a story that was told to me when I was being trained. And it was about this middle-aged man who had a lot of anxiety. And he would anytime his boss would email him, anytime when he was younger, if he had an authority figure, a male authority figure, ask him a question, or if he was, called into the office, he always thought he was in trouble, and he would have this intense anxiety. And so he initially was going to therapy for anxiety, thinking, why do I have this intense anxiety when I'm just being asked to come and show my portfolio? And so what they ended up learning through EMDR was when he was 3, he was in the kitchen with his mom eating breakfast. His dad came in and ended up leaving the family. And he thought that it was because of him. And so because no one explained to him, hey, this has nothing to do with you, as a child, we don't know what's happening. We don't have, our brains are not fully functioning. You're 3. All you see is your dad left you. And so all the male authority figures in his life, he took on as, if I don't act perfectly, they're gonna leave me, or I'm gonna be fired. It's my fault. And so he was able to work through that. There's that stuck point that he's at, where he thinks that he's the one who, it's him. He's the problem. One, that is a stuck point in your life. Because I think everyone has a stuck point, but everyone has a different intensity with it. And so when you have that stuck point, EMDR helps you reprocess it. And so you're able to go back through bilateral stimulation. Virtually, we'll either do a finger movement or butterfly hugs. So butterfly hugs and tapping. And so you'll be able to close your eyes. I'm watching your tapping, so I'm monitoring you, and I'm also watching your body language. And what we want is for you to be able to get over this hump. And so what will happen is a lot of times people will feel very intense emotion, and I'm watching as this happens, and I'm supporting you through the way. I'm telling you, I'm just reminding you you're safe. I'm here to support you. And you get over that hump, and once you get over that hump, you feel this relief. Now this is very, there's a lot more to it, but
Surface level.
yeah, this is very surface level.
We could have a whole other episode diving
You
into
really, yeah, you could.
Just EMDR.
Yeah.
Like, how does this? What are your thoughts on like hypnosis and things like that, or like ketamine assisted therapy? There's so many different like forms of breaking barriers now.
There are,
that are interesting, and I'm curious from the path you take to see what your thoughts are on some of those.
So I think it depends on the intensity again. And so some people really struggle, let's say with depression. And so they will go the ketamine route because they might not be, or they might have medication resistance. So they might not have any medications that help them. And so they find a lot of relief from the ketamine. I personally don't know a lot about ketamine therapy or hypnosis, so I can't really talk about that a lot, but I do think that I've seen changes in a lot of people that have, especially with ketamine. I've seen people who have been extremely depressed who have tried it and have had amazing results.
Wow, that's crazy.
No,
Yeah.
wow. That's what we're drinking right now. You didn't know.
Could you imagine if you could drink ketamine? The cure to depression.
That would be dangerous.
Are you more like when a new client came in and was like, should I try medicine? Should I try therapy? Should I try both? Are you more driven like, let's try therapy and see if you need medicine? Like, I'll recommend. So like, what's your relationship with medicine? I know you're not a psychiatrist.
Yeah, I think medication is extremely helpful, especially when you're in therapy. I would never tell someone to be medicated without being in therapy because it's literally a Band-Aid, and it's all it's doing is helping you function, but those problems are still going to be there. What medication does with therapy is it helps you have this space where you're able to dive deeper, and you're able to learn the skills now when you're being triggered, or if you're trying to work on your anxiety or your depression, you're able to actually utilize those tools because you're not stuck in that depression or anxiety. So I'm a big proponent of working both with having both. Some people are opposed to medication, and that's fine. I would never ever push anyone, but if they were asking me, that I would always say you have to do it together. Just because you're being medicated doesn't mean that therapy's done.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
No, I'm a big proponent of medication as well. I was heavy against it when I started therapy.
A lot of people are.
And it's scary when you get when you're starting to get psychiatrists too, because some of them want to push a bunch of things on you. So it's really about carefully diving in, dipping your toe in it
Yes.
the right way, right? But
Yeah.
I want to be as transparent about myself as possible through the podcast, and I'm on both depression and anxiety medicine, and it's been life changing for me.
It is.
It's not like the cure all, like you said, but between that and my therapist, with started with cognitive behavioral therapy, with a lot of positive self-talk, and that's the biggest issue we run into is like our negative self-talk, and the medicine just takes the edge off.
It turns the volume down. That's the best way I can describe it. Is our brains are just always on, and they love negativity. So we have this negative narrative, and medication just helps turn it down so that it's not so in your face. And then you take back a lot more of that control, and you have the space to do the work.
Yeah, it just makes life a little bit less crowded.
Yes, I agree.
Like a panic attack type of feeling can come if you don't have that kind of space. Oh, now, not everything comes back to like childhood trauma, right?
Yeah.
But would you say that people, like, there's different levels of trauma that people have experienced throughout life? I've heard another very wonderful person I've spoken to and filmed podcasts with, Stacy Urick. She's out of I think Morris County, but she's talked about big T versus little T.
Yeah.
So can you explain the difference of like different types of trauma? And
So big T is one event. So fire, losing your home to a fire, and a car accident. Those are the big T traumas. Little T traumas are the ones that happen every day. So an example of a little T trauma might be growing up in a household where you felt you had to walk on eggshells around your parents. You just never knew when they were going to blow up. And so that becomes your normal, right? And as you grow into an adult, now your baseline for any type of trigger is a bit lower. So if you grew up in a household where you didn't have to walk on eggshells, if you met someone, started dating them, and felt like you had to walk on eggshells, you'd be like, this is not okay, this is a red flag, I'm out. If you grew up in that environment, it would be normal to you. And so it takes you a lot longer to realize, oh, this isn't okay. And if it's not okay, but I also grew up this way, then maybe it's me. If I'm just a better partner, if I'm a better sibling, things will be different. And so that being said, you can also grow up in a fantastic family where the emotions are discussed, everything's fine, and then you get your first job and you're emotionally abused by your boss, and now you start downing yourself. And that happens, throughout the years, and now you are, let's say, in your 50s, and you're like, I'm really struggling. It doesn't always go back to that childhood trauma. You could have an amazing upbringing, but things like that happen. And so that those little T traumas are just those little things that you don't really notice. They're not in your face, but they happen. And it's like chipping away at a brick. And it changes you.
I mean, all throughout life, we're constantly getting chipped away at, right?
I know, I never heard of that T thing, ever.
Big
It's
T, little
interesting.
T.
It makes sense.
It does, yeah.
No, and again, it doesn't have to be childhood, right? So, although it is pretty interesting. The older I get, the more I think about little things, and my parents are wonderful people, and they're super supportive. But my mom likes to blame herself for anything that goes wrong, which is like, I stubbed my toe today, and she'll call it, oh my God, that's because I didn't teach you not to walk with your foot dragging or something like that, So there's all sorts of different things that can cause like you can't let things get in the way of your life either.
Yeah.
Or just blame yourself for everything.
No.
You find a lot of do you find like that you have a lot of clients that are entrepreneurs at all, or do you feel like you have people that are in that field of work where they work for themselves, or?
Yes, and a lot of helpers. So other therapists, teachers, people who are in the helping realm. So
It's so cool.
yeah, so I have lawyers, a lot, and it's interesting because, and we were talking a bit about this before, but everyone thinks that their problems are just this, they're isolated from everyone. This is my problem, something's wrong with me, and it's not. Everyone's going through something very similar, and it's
true.
Not until you talk about it that it's like, okay, I'm not alone in this. I don't have to be. So.
Do you feel like there's a lot of misconceptions I knew this was gonna happen.
Misconnections.
Misconnections.
On Craigslist. So,
Is
yeah.
that still around?
No, I'm sure.
I used to love reading those.
Those are the best. Say, hey, you who's in Times Square, the homeless
With
guy
the pink
peed on my
hat,
leg. You were the one who walked by and said disgusting. I
Oh,
feel like we had something.
I'm gonna go home and look at this now. See if it's still
It's
around.
gotta be around,
It
right?
has to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, misconnections, misconceptions.
Yes. Are there a lot of misconceptions with like therapy and like maybe I feel like no offense to men at all, but do you feel like more men are like, I don't have it that bad, I don't need therapy, or do you feel like it's like both people? Because I feel like growing up, like my brother never wanted therapy, or maybe not my brother, I shouldn't say that. Whoever,
Say it, put him under the bus.
yeah, men in my
Right.
life
Yeah.
never wanted therapy. But I think it's important to get therapy, even though you're men. But Jeff's one of my
Yeah.
best friends. He loves therapy. We talk about therapy all the time. Why is Jeff loving therapy? And
Yeah.
but then other men in my life are like, I don't fucking need it. Why don't you need it? We all need therapy.
We do.
Let's normalize
Yeah.
it.
I'm definitely game for that. Yes, we should definitely be normalizing it. I think it's a generational thing as well. I think a lot of men in this generation are very open to it. And I think the older generations are like, yeah, no, but if that happened yesterday, that's not my problem anymore. Like, forget about it. We're not talking about it. I don't know how to talk about it, so we're just gonna forget.
Which is where our trauma comes from.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Yes, yes. And what I say to that, because this is also a big thing for people who really struggle with coming into therapy and not being from a family who supports that, is we're not blaming anyone. Because when you look at the older generations, all they're doing is exactly what they were taught, what was modeled for them. And as a society, no one talked about therapy back then. And so what would make you think that your parents or your grandparents would be the ones to do that? No.
It's funny talking to grandparents and hearing their thoughts on therapy, and they're like, oh, like maybe one of them went to therapy once back in the 1980s, and they're like, there was that time we had the breakdown.
Yeah.
Like whispering it in the,
Yeah.
you sit in the kitchen with them. There's the breakdown.
Yeah.
Breakdown.
That's the
You went to
time,
one
yeah.
therapy session because
Yeah.
you were feeling bummed out, but no.
Yeah.
Not to be honest, I wasn't all that for it. When I
No.
started, no, or medicine, I was terrified. I still get afraid whenever like I'm recommended for a different type of medication. So like I'm recently diagnosed with ADHD, so I've been given Adderall, and it's been sitting in my room in this beautiful pill bottle.
It's
never
scary.
gonna be taken. And I took the extended release one and didn't notice anything. It's like, oh, here's a regular one. So I'm still afraid to give it a try because I don't know what I'm gonna feel like. But meanwhile, I'm chugging margaritas all the time and putting all sorts of other. My body's a temple, a temple for alcohol, a boozy temple.
What is it that you're afraid of? You don't have to answer that in here.
No, I'm fine. Again, I have sadly no boundaries. My poor wife. She has to listen to me talk to anybody about all my issues. But no,
You have to have boundaries.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with taking it. No, I just don't. I don't know. I just don't know how I'll feel,
Yeah.
or if I have an addictive personality or something. I'll be like,
Okay.
I need it more, and then it's just like I don't know. It's just something changed too.
It is,
You
yeah.
get used to something. Then I already take other meds. You don't know how things interact, and I don't know. It's probably a bunch of nonsense.
It's not. No, it's completely valid. And what I would say is you have to lean on your support system. Lean on your wife, lean on your friends. And if you are afraid of taking it, take it when you don't have a lot going on. And so you
Yeah.
could see how, what is vacation? You're relaxed. Let's see how it happens. What do I feel? And it might actually surprise you where it's like, oh, you know what? Why did I wait so long to take this? It's actually so helpful.
No, I have that with, I recently started taking Zepbound for like my weight, and I'm afraid of needles and whatnot, so that was a big hurdle
Yeah.
of my own. But now I'm like every Friday, I created my own song, because like
Good for you.
Wegovy and Ozempic, they got these great songs. They do like
They
covers.
do.
So Ozempic's like,
Yeah,
Ozempic, and then Wegovy takes the Greatest Showman song, the Wegovy, and then Mounjaro and Zepbound, they got nothing. So like I took the song from Annie tomorrow, and now I wake up on Friday mornings, and my wife, I'm like, the weight'll come off, Manjaro. And she's like, oh my God, get out of here. And I'm dancing.
You have to
around.
copyright that.
Yeah, I know. They
Someone's
might take
steal
this.
it. Yeah.
So they say, grab your flab and stab and say, you know.
It's a good tagline.
Yeah, I think that they should go with it, but if they're gonna have catchy cat. But my point of that is, besides just wanting to sing for you guys, is that I was hesitant to it for a long time, but now it's like you've just been taking it a month, you feel like a whole different person.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
That could be the other
definitely get
medication too.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things we've talked about is like I don't have it that bad. Maybe I don't need it like that.
Yeah, that's a common theme. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Comparing our situations to other people is not going to do anyone any good, because everyone reacts differently to certain situations. Everyone has a different baseline when their emotions come into play, and everyone's experiences. We could be experiencing the same thing. We could leave it. I could say this podcast was horrible, and you guys, it went great. we're seeing at the same podcast. Our experiences played. I'm not going to say that. Don't worry.
Yeah,
but
we'll cut that part out.
Yeah, just cut it out. But everyone's experiences are so different. When someone comes in to my therapy sessions, it's either I didn't have it that bad, or oh my God, I just lost my train of thought. We'll just go. I can't think of the other one. But when I and what my trauma wasn't. I can't label this as trauma. And so to me, my response is always, if you're sitting here telling me that what you experienced has changed you, that's trauma. That's that little t trauma. But because everyone always thinks, well, that guy had it a lot worse, or I didn't have my house burned down, so what? I had to walk on eggshells growing up. But think about the impact of that, to live that on a daily basis. And so comparing takes a lot of time to get out of, because it's almost, we have to redirect our brains when it gets to the comparing, because it's invalidating your experience, and that's not fair to you.
What's like the best way to give advice to someone who constantly compares themselves? Like, we do a little bit of comparing here. We do talk about it. Yeah.
Every day.
So some comparing is, we're all, sorry, I'm like playing footsie with you.
Don't worry, we got it all on camera.
Yes, seriously. We're all human, right? So we're going to compare. I think that's just natural. If you're doing it to a point where it's now detrimental to your health, because now you're thinking, well, nothing is bad, or I have it worse, and you're like doomsday here. What I would do first is we work on those DBT skills. So how do we become aware of that negativity? Sometimes I'll have clients name, I'll say like, either name your thoughts, a person that you hate, because then you really don't want them in your mind, or just name it some silly name. And anytime you hear yourself compare in it, where it's, it's really hurting you, you want to bring attention to it. And you'll notice how often it actually happens. And you'll see that if someone was standing next to you all day telling yourself things that we say to ourselves, you'd be like, who are you? Get away from me. I'm not your friend, leave. But we do it to ourselves day in and day out. And so it's just bringing awareness first, and then you can make that change. It's hard though.
If you pay me money, I will sit and tell you all the things you're thinking about yourself just all day.
Same, yeah.
Just so you can see it. That's a great point. Yeah, I wouldn't want someone telling me what the negative thoughts I have.
Yeah. They would run.
Yeah.
But we do it to ourselves.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We put up with a lot. A lot of internal things.
Yes. And so becoming aware of those thoughts, and then how is it affecting you physically? Does it feel like someone punches you in the gut, or you have a heaviness on your chest? Does it feel like you have to clear your throat? Do you feel like you have tension in your shoulders? This is all normal when you've experienced those little T traumas, and then when you become aware of it, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm a walking ball of stress. I'm literally white knuckling it through my days. How do I change this? And that's where the work comes in.
White knuckling is definitely the key word. And
Yeah.
It comes up in therapy a lot. Just literally gripping, pushing through instead of actually processing. That's really an interesting thought, So what we need to do is just process on podcasts.
Process all of our
really
feelings.
get all the feelings out.
Or
Why not?
imposter feelings.
Yeah.
syndrome. Like,
Yeah.
talk about how that kind of shapes people in a way. Like,
Mhm.
I feel like, especially business owners, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
do you see that a lot from your clients?
In every type of business. Yeah. You could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, you could be an entrepreneur, you could anything. It doesn't matter what your career is. It matters what made you this way, right? So a lot of individuals who will have perfectionistic tendencies, looking at either birth order, I think plays a huge part into some of this, but also your upbringing. Were you in a family where grades were really important? And then anytime, if now you're going to school, let's say you're going to be a doctor, but you get a B. Now it's like, I shouldn't be here. I do not deserve to be a doctor. What's going on? And then you have all this come up for you. I saw it a lot at the university where a lot of students were at the top of their class in high school, throughout their, their education. They got to college and now they're one of many of the top tier of everything. And they struggled because they felt like either I'm not good enough to be here because I'm not a standout, and it's very difficult, and now I'm receiving B's and I am not used to this. And that really, really impacted a lot of students. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the grades thing my parents gave up on pretty quick.
My parents
It's
did
not
too.
healthy.
I didn't
It's
like the
not
report
healthy.
cards coming home though.
Yeah.
It's like, what is it gonna say? And then the comments
Mhm.
section. I
Yeah.
don't know what it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah. My parents never gave they never put pressure on us, and I'm so thankful for that because I saw how harmful that is.
Yeah, and you
Mhm.
see it probably day in and day out,
Yeah.
right? It's just the perfection.
Yes.
You're striving for perfection that doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
I always went with C's get degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, D's in some schools, you
D's
know.
get degrees too.
So I graduated from the University of Missouri. I used to journalism.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting on stage during graduation waiting for one final grade to come out,
Oh my god.
and I needed at least a 70.
That is risky business.
And I got a text while I was on stage, like, okay, he's like, I rounded you up. You gotta say, I'm like, yes.
Done.
I'm walking
Yeah,
today.
This is not for naught. Like, imagine if I walked across stage and then found out, okay, I gotta do that class over again.
Well, I just listened to a podcast with Brad Pitt, and he
You went to Mizzou?
He did? Oh,
Yeah.
well, and he didn't graduate. He walked. Yeah.
He
so,
walked.
There you go.
He
He was like, I'm done.
You could have done the same
Yeah, you
I
could have
could-
been like Brad
I'm
Pitt.
basically Brad Pitt
Yeah.
in every other way.
Seriously. like,
People say, I'm walking around downtown Somerville like,
am I on Brad Pitt's podcast?
no, yeah, congratulations. No, it's funny because he's like, they have like several legends at Mizzou that never graduated. That went
Is
down.
that good or bad?
I don't know.
What's the connection with this?
Yeah.
Can we dive deeper?
With Brad Pitt, like we used to go to parties at the frat house that he was in the frat for like 2 days. They got his picture like up.
Now it's celebrity crowd.
This is the Kappa Brada thing.
Oh, that's
but
hilarious.
it's just funny because
Yeah.
when the same thing with Sheryl Crow, they're like, oh, honorary. I don't know if she actually graduated. I forget. John Hamm, I think, graduated. So,
Really?
yeah.
Did he actually graduate or he just walked?
He did both. Brad Pitt's a walker.
Yeah.
He showed up to graduation.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's the people who probably like pretend, oh, I knew the professors. I knew Brad when he was here.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
But
Yeah.
The
No.
fact that you're saying that is
Yeah,
pathetic.
Yeah.
This is a joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a lot of that in Mizzou.
That's so funny.
Missouri, you got a lot to claim, you know. Brad Pitt.
Clearly, yeah.
But yeah, no, that's interesting. That he talks about that even, but that could have been me.
Your college is famous. I went to Rowan.
I don't even know where that is.
South Jersey. Nothing really.
South Jersey. All right,
Yeah, it's like
that's
kind of near
famous.
Philly. I'd say.
Yeah.
I don't even know. It was during COVID, so
Oh, that must
I
have
went
been
for a little
difficult.
bit, and then COVID happened, and then I moved home because I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, that's
Talk about
hard.
trauma.
Talk about trauma.
School
Yeah.
and
I was trying to
COVID.
get my bachelor's in psychology, and I was disrupted
By the world shutting
by
down.
the world shutting down.
I mean, that would totally. I never would have survived college
Oh no.
and the pandemic.
Well, it was online, so there was a lot of cheating going on with Czech. So honestly, it was a
Imagine
plus.
school now with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I was paying for Chegg. I was paying for.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what Chegg is?
No, we
You
had
know what Chegg is?
we had
Yeah.
Cliff Notes back in the day.
I don't know if I used. I forget we're a couple years apart. I don't know. I don't. Only
You know what
few.
Spark Notes or Cliff Notes?
No.
Really? Yeah.
Chegg.
But they used to
Chegg.
actually be books.
Yeah,
No.
we would order like a book in the mail.
No, you go on
It's like,
Chegg.
oh, this is what Animal Farm is about.
Yeah.
No, you get a Chegg subscription and you
What?
type in your test.
How do you spell that?
Oh, wait, no, I don't know what that is.
CHEGG. You like type in your test, and then it will give you all the answers and stuff. Chegg.
What?
When I was in college, that's where some books came from, I thought.
I'm
Chegg?
thinking this for books.
Spark Notes was like Cliff Notes
Yeah.
online. So I
I'm
was
almost
right around
positive Chegg has a subscription where you
That
can
is hilarious.
homework help.
send in
I'm
your
looking at it right now.
homework help. You send in your quizzes.
Wow.
Math solver.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you don't have to
Oh,
know
yeah.
anything. anymore.
Algebra.
Yeah, this is.
This is
Yeah, you
scary.
type in things
What
and
the
it breaks everything down.
It's got a freaking calculator.
Oh my god.
Algebra. Yeah, I got
Wow.
this, man.
Yeah.
I could have been nailing it in stats.
Yeah,
Stats
seriously.
I almost failed stats. I couldn't do
That
it.
was awful.
I had a
Right.
6 a.m. stats class. I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah, that's 6 a.m.
And then you're walking. Well, I went to community college first at RVCC, but I'm like, you're walking in and it's dark, and I'm scared someone's
Yes.
gonna get me.
Did you have to walk up all those stairs on the side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always paranoid. Like, who's
Yeah.
behind? Is my car locked?
Yeah.
I will panic at any moment. You come near me and I'm gonna panic.
This girl's ready to fight anyone who's going to traffic
My
her.
pepper spray.
Yes, I have pepper spray ready. Do not come near
She
me.
is
I
ready.
might.
You have to be
Like-
these days, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Can't be
never know.
just-
I don't trust anyone.
Mm-mm.
Barely trust.
This room is just barely making it,
Yeah.
only because we have surveillance. So
Pepper spray is arms.
the
Yeah.
pepper spray, you got like you can get a foot pump one. It's like built into your shoe and your
It's
sleeve.
your chairs. Yeah.
Like a spider.
I walk up to Jeff and Nicole's apartment. I'm like, okay, no one follow me. I'm good to come in.
Perfect. We're good to go.
Well, you hear all these stories, so.
You
It's
never
sad.
know.
It's messed up. Like
It
we're
is.
joking about it, but it's like it's really an
It
issue.
is, yeah.
You hear about sketchy things happening like
Mhm.
ShopRite parking lots and
Yeah, that's
Target parking, yeah.
Target's-
Yeah.
Yeah, which room?
Yeah.
Kohl's in Flemington too is having some issues recently
crazy.
with like potential human trafficking, and I'm very.
That
close to
scares
that.
me, yeah.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
never know, and you
Mm-mm.
always have to be aware. And some
Yeah.
people think like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, no, it's
No.
not. Get off your phone and walk
Yeah.
to your car and look around.
Mm-hmm.
My husband always makes fun of me. I will get on the phone and be like, hi, honey, you're in the car, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like if someone's behind me walking
Mhm.
along, you never know. You
Yeah.
cannot trust anyone.
I do think it's very different for females versus
Yeah.
males. Yeah.
if someone took me, it'd be heavy.
But you still have to be aware.
I know.
Everyone needs
Yeah,
to be
it's-
aware.
It's a crazy world we live in
It
right
is.
now.
It really is.
in many
yeah.
ways.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Trauma everywhere you look.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Outside of trauma itself, I want to talk about the real trauma that you faced, is having to shoot with me.
No, that
having
was,
to be my
that was my big
client.
C trauma.
That was your big
Yeah.
thing? Standing in front of the camera. So we're in our studio here with the historic Van Horn house, George Washington's ghost.
Yep.
and
He's
haunts
here with
it.
us.
He's here
We're
with
gonna
us.
speak to them soon. We're
Yeah,
gonna
that's
set up a
right.
Ouija board when the sun sets, 8 p.m. Is that when it sets? I don't know. It's
I don't
later
know,
and later.
sunset.
It's around
Later.
there.
Yeah. 8 p.m. Bring me some wine. I'll sit right here, Ouija board.
Us
Wine
and
and-
George.
Send us and Jake.
Yeah.
We get like an aura camera. You probably catch them on there. You know?
I
Yeah.
think you can catch it.
Or the orbs. Yeah. Orb. Be an orb with a powdered wig. Was my.
I might
Some
not
death
ever come
particles.
back after this. If I see anything, I'm never coming
This
back.
camera's gonna capture some funny stuff. It's like giving me bunny ears. But shooting with me. I'm always curious to.
Where is this going?
I just want to know.
You never know. It's a trick question.
You gotta give a real answer here because we need to know
Mhm.
how was it being a client. How do you feel like being on that side of the camera? A big thing of what I do is I want people to feel really self-awesome, like
Yeah.
self-love and
Beautiful.
Yes, and I did. Coming into it, I was nervous because I don't like being on the spot, and I've never done this before, this type of photo shoot. So I think personally, and I knew this was for me professionally, like okay, this is like another level because this is going to go out to the public, and I need these pictures to represent who I am. And I think as soon as I felt comfortable, and I think getting to know you beforehand helped so
Yeah.
much because I feel like you're my friend now, and so you're stuck with me.
Well,
And coming in, it was like, okay, I don't have to like get to know this person. I already know this person, and you definitely did a great job at easing any anxiety that I had, and then showing me the photos. As I mean, you have a lot of talented, a lot of talented. You are very talented, and so that. I mean, I'm glad that I reached out to you because I think you have to have that connection with someone, especially behind when you're doing photo shoots. You have to. It's almost like a therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say the same thing to him every day. I'm like, I've never felt like comfortable in front of the camera until like, you know, when you're in certain situations and like you go and pay for a photo and they take a photo and they're like, okay. With him, he's like, do you like this angle? I'm like, Jeff, my double chin, we gotta work on that. Like, give me a better. And he's like, okay, I got you. Do this. Like,
Up and down.
there's people
Yes,
that care.
exactly.
Yeah,
We're doing that all the time now.
You're gonna be
There's
doing it
people who
regularly.
truly care, and there's people that are in it for the money. Like, I tell Jeff every day, I'm like, I'm grateful. I need to do a branding shoot. You gotta get on me about that. We're working on it.
Yeah. You also can tell that you're very well educated in what you're doing, and I like that. So you're not just throwing things together like, oh, let's try this out. Maybe we'll get some natural light this way.
Maybe
You
just get
know
lucky.
what you're doing, and the pictures speak to that.
Well, it's funny because when I started this and started getting into it, it was a lot of that. Like getting lucky.
Sure.
You almost have to fake it till you make it. So years and years ago, it was basically you just have to come off as you're confident. You know, it's nice to have a little bit more knowledge on the background, and I think that kind of ties in with handling your own mental like
Absolutely.
health, right? So just think of what you do and how you help people, give them the tools to not feel like they have to fake it till they make it.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you ever bring home, not like bring home, but like quote unquote bring home people's trauma? Like, is it hard to separate like a session and then
It can be. After I had my first daughter, I became very picky about seeing adolescents because I felt like it was too intense for me, and so I had to take a step back from that a bit because I just wanted to help everyone. I'm like, oh my God, this could be my daughter in a few years. You know how? And this is like I saw the parents struggling. That was a lot emotionally for me. So that I brought home a lot until I was able to step back. Now I think I do a really great job at
balance?
that balance, but I also don't have, I work from home. So as soon as I'm done with work, I have to go right into mom mode. And I think that actually helps because I don't have a choice. My daughters are screaming for me. So it's actually a really great distraction. I could come right off of a really intense EMDR session, and then 5 minutes later, I'm like, do you want fish sticks?
You don't have a choice.
Yeah, you don't. So I think that's actually helpful.
Yeah.
Because you do need that separation. You have to have that. As a human and a good therapist and a good person, you can't bring everything home with you.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Do we bring home more traumas?
Oh, big time. That's the problem, though. What would you say to somebody who is on the edge of wanting to, or feels like they might need therapy but is like hesitating?
I would say, give it a try. And if you're hesitating because you're afraid of what other people will think, family has, they influence us a lot. No one's going to know. And so do it for yourself. You have to start, if you're thinking about doing therapy, that means that you're thinking about prioritizing yourself and your needs and that you're ready for change. It also, I think part of the thing that stops a lot of individuals is it takes a long time to find a good therapist that you connect with. So I always say finding a therapist is like finding your spouse, because you have to have that connection. And I know for myself, I've gone through other therapists and I'm like, this is not a great fit. Or I need someone who's more direct. I need someone who's, solution focused. I need skills. And you learn that though. And so you don't have to be married to this person. You're allowed to disconnect and find other people. But if you're hesitating, don't. Do it for yourself.
Try it out. And
That's it.
A lot of therapists do the free consult.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you do a free consult?
I do. Yeah, I think that's so important because it gives me an opportunity to listen to the client, understand what they're coming for. If their goals don't align with what I can offer them, I'll offer to, let me find someone who will work with you. Let me find someone who fits your insurance. Let me find someone who, has these skills. I'm very transparent with people. My 15 minutes is usually not 15 minutes because I like to give people a lot of time. And I also like to explain to them how I run therapy. And so at the end of the phone call, I'll explain to them, this is what I do, this is what I offer. And then I never allow anyone to make a session appointment after that. I want people to think about what I said, think about what they want, and then I'll send, a follow-up email, and then I let them, you contact me if you want to start. Because I don't like that pressure.
Yeah, that no
I
pressure.
like that.
Yeah. I know that would give me a lot of anxiety. At the end of the phone call, I would be waiting for that instead of listening. So I never put pressure. Because it's a lot. Starting therapy is a lot, especially if it's the first time.
Yeah, it's a lot. I remember my first experience with therapy. I'm surprised I ever went back. So there's a guy in Staten Island named Carl.
Carl.
He's a real bastard. So this guy just wants friends, I think. So he's a
Friend.
weaselly guy.
So he's not trying to
So I had my first session
Needs
with him.
therapy.
Carl, the whole time he spoke he nonstop told me about his whole life.
What
And at the
the-
end he's like, I can tell we're gonna be a really good match. I think I'm really gonna help you. I'm like, oh. He's like, that's $200. I'm like, what?
I would be like, no, you give me $200.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm the therapist now.
Yeah. Here's my invoice.
Hey, man, I should have billed him, that son of a gun.
Yeah.
But, the whole time he was like, he's like telling me about all these great things about his life.
Oh.
So I learned a lot
About Carl.
about Carl.
Did you go back?
No.
Okay.
That was it. I went to another guy who he was okay. My second therapist was more like he just kind of let me come and talk and do
Yeah.
my thing. It wasn't actually any work.
Did he
or
listen
anything.
more or
I don't know
not?
if he was listening or just let me have the
Dozing
room.
off?
Just let me have the room. It's like, that's what I would do if I were a therapist. Yeah. Oh yeah. And then see me drawing. We got some great pictures today. Where she was talking,
Yeah.
she was showing me what she really does. She writes help.
This client
Help
is
me.
crazy.
Yeah, this client is nuts. Or she just scribbles lines.
Literally.
Just scribbling.
Yeah.
So the only thing I know I used to be a great artist as a kid. Now the only thing I can draw anymore is SpongeBob and Homer Simpson, and I could draw.
Do you know the square thing? Like when you make a square, another square,
And then-
another
yeah.
square,
3D
make
square?
A box. It's the only
What
thing
about
I
that
know.
S?
Yeah, the
That was
S,
our
yeah.
generation. I
Never
don't know if
did
that.
The S, yeah.
Like that was awesome. You do the 3
It's
lines.
still calling me young.
You're like a freaking.
I'm not young.
You're very young. You don't know what the S is.
Yeah.
You don't know what
With
Cliff
Spark
Notes.
Notes, yeah.
Where did you even grow up? My goodness.
I don't think so.
The S is like that's how you knew you're a true gangster.
Okay, you don't know what Chegg is, so.
Chegg, why would I ever know
I
what
thought it was
Chegg
for
is?
something innocent.
Yeah. Chegg is horrible.
Chegg is great.
Chegg is worse than
Shout out to
ChatGPT.
Chegg for
Yeah.
getting you through college
This,
through
this
COVID.
episode's sponsored by Chegg. 94% of students get better grades when they
Yeah, you know
when
why?
they cheat on Chegg. 94%. It makes sense because they're not doing any work.
Yeah, what is it like in the real world?
You could do cell biology on here.
Oh my gosh.
There's a
What
lot
the
that
hell?
goes into it.
Goes into, I don't think there's anything that goes into it besides free information. They're not
No, it's
free.
like
You pay for it. You have to have a membership.
They have it for educators.
They give you like a
gosh.
like a little, I don't know, thing. Like
Yeah.
it gives you an idea of what, like your quiz. It'll show you the quiz, and then it'll be like, but pay $15 for the month, and it's like you gotta click it. You need all the right answers.
It's like, do you
I couldn't
want
think
the
of the
quiz
word.
from the University of Missouri psychology class?
Gives you like a snip. It's like,
This
hey,
would have helped Brad Pitt.
yes.
Oh, Brad Pitt. I think
He should
so.
get his degree.
Yeah,
In
he
my-
should, right?
Well, he still. I think he has the degree.
Does
He
he?
walked, but it was an honorary degree.
Oh.
So like it wasn't like a legit degree.
Yeah.
But
That's crazy.
Mizzou just hands out degrees to anybody. They
That are
let me
famous, though.
graduate, and I'm not famous. They're just giving anybody a degree.
You don't think you're famous.
Not yet.
You're Brad Pitt.
I'm,
Brad
That's
Pitt
right.
Jr.
that's Brad Pitt Jr. I'm Brad Pitt's bro. That was my pickup line in college. I was like, hey.
Were you part of his frat?
No, I wasn't in a frat.
I
I wasn't
wasn't
cool
either.
enough. No, I had friends who
You're
were,
smart, really.
yeah. I had friends who were in frats, so we would sneak in parties, and that was about all we'd use it for.
You're serious. Do you have regrets?
About not being
Yeah.
no.
I don't
I
either.
couldn't be happier not been in
I
that.
cannot deal with sorority twats.
No.
That's what I call them.
I would not be able to, yeah.
I'm happy
All the time.
COVID hit at the right time.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
There's no pressure.
Online sororities were
Yeah.
probably a thing, right?
Probably was.
Online hazing, what would that be?
They're probably showing each other tits. Like, are my tits bigger than yours? You're in.
That's not hazing, that's just normal now. That's just
Yeah.
omegle.
That's true. I can't imagine going back to college now.
No, I wouldn't want to be in
No.
school right now. The ChatGPT is absurd. I can't.
Like, how do professors do it? They're probably like, this essay is bullshit. This is not.
They
your
have,
speech."
my husband is a high school teacher, and I think he has this system where it scans.
How is it going to know that?
That I don't know.
So you could be like,
Because I
ChatGPT, change it a little
Yeah.
bit,
Well,
make it
ChatGPT
sound more
doesn't-
dumb.
It doesn't
Yeah.
bank it. You know, like it banks it in your system, but it's
I'll
private.
ask him.
I'm so
Should ask
curious
him,
about
yeah.
that. But speaking of ChatGPT, I asked it earlier. And this is going to be a big question for you too. Do you love me? And ChatGPT told me, I definitely got your back, Jeff. While I don't feel love the way humans do, I'm definitely here to support you, create with you, and bring your idea, create me. It's my dad. And bring your ideas to life, whether it's crafting the perfect caption, building out your business, or kicking around some thoughts for your next podcast episode. So in my own way, yeah, I'm here for you.
It
And then it gave me a
connected
freaking heart emoji. So I tell you
It
what,
connected everything right now.
Yeah.
Think about that.
it said the podcast
so
thing.
deeply.
But all it is like, okay, all positivity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to be more positive, Jeff.
It didn't tell me my BMI, which I'm kind of bummed about. No.
That's coming. That's
That's
the next, yeah.
next iteration.
You have to ask.
Yeah.
Shit,
You always
version
have to-
4. Yeah.
So it gets to know your voice and
Yeah. So it's interesting though. So like, yeah, as a therapist, like, if someone asks you, do you love them? You're probably not going to respond like that.
maybe I'll start.
Maybe
No.
you need to. At least
I'll say,
do
hold on,
this.
let me. yeah.
That's a little inappropriate for therapy. You're like, what am I allowed to say?
In all seriousness though, I think when you have a really great connection with a therapist, part of you, there is this, not a love, like a romantic love, but you want the best for this
Like
person.
a connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, there's different levels of love. I don't think if you're doing the work, and the client is great as well, how could you not have, that sense of love and want for them to do better?
And that's the big thing that AI is never gonna really
No,
have, right?
yeah.
It's a human element, that
It is,
ability
yeah.
to care.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it says it cares.
Yeah.
It gave the heart emoji.
I'm gonna
That's pretty
start
good.
doing that.
You should start
On
sending the
Zoom
heart
today,
emoji.
yeah.
on Zoom. Well, so I'm not gonna keep wasting too much time on this, but Apple computer, I run live streams too.
Mm-hmm.
So I was running a live stream for this big broadcast. Every year there's this big broadcast stream. It's like
Yeah.
a multi-camera shoot in New York City, and I run it remotely, and I run it through my laptop. Like I stream the video in and I switch it and put the broadcast out. So Apple just came up with a new update where every emoji, if you did that, or if you move your hand up, it
Yeah.
puts a big thumbs up because it thinks like, oh, this is cute, like a big bubble
Not on the
pops up. Like,
broadcast.
so since I was running it through my computer,
Oh my gosh.
even though I was streaming like camera, like it was a
Yeah.
forum, so like these top people with like NBC News and
Oh
ABC
my
were
god.
like talking like this, and on the broadcast, a big bubble with a thumbs up or a thumbs down pop up. So I'm getting calls. They're like, "What the hell is going on here?" I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I didn't know there was a new update. Because Apple just decided that
Yeah.
not only is this a great thing to add, we're gonna make it turned on
Yeah.
right away. We're not gonna give you the option to know whether or not you're gonna turn it on.
Is there an option now to turn it off?
You can turn it off now.
Okay.
So like if you go on your computer, I don't know if you have a MacBook or not,
Yeah.
but there's like I think it's when you have your camera on, there's like a drop down on the top, and it says something about reactions.
Okay.
Because if you go like this, and then like the big bubble,
That's scary too, though. Like that it picks that up.
and picks up everything.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It is.
So, I think we've taken a lot of your time today.
This is fun. This is like a little vacation.
Oh, good.
I got pampered. I got my photos done.
Yeah, it's a good escape from reality. You get to go
Yes.
home back to kids.
Yep. Ask about those fish sticks.
Yeah, the fish
Too much
sticks.
fish sticks.
Fish sticks on a Friday night.
Yep.
Friday fish. But yeah, so do you feel like there's anything that we haven't really touched on that you really want to get out there? I know beforehand we talked about a lot, but
I don't think so. I think I always go back to, if you're thinking about therapy or if you feel like you don't want to talk about something, it's usually a sign that you should be talking about it. And if it's a fear that, that's why you're hesitant to start therapy, just give it a try.
yeah.
And you don't have to be stuck with the one therapist who you reach out to, and just put yourself as a priority.
If you need Carl's number,
Yes.
I got you covered. No, but how can people get in touch with you?
So you could reach me at my website. So it's SiobhanStrickhart.com, and there's contact forms there, or you can reach out to me via email, which is SiobhanStrickhart.com. And if anyone needs help finding a therapist, I am always open to help people find different resources, refer people. I never want people to feel like they can't reach out because they don't know what to say or what to do or where to go. And so if anyone is ever struggling with that direction, I'm always here to help.
It's
Wonderful.
awesome.
Yeah.
What is something you're currently unlearning?
Yeah, these are 3 questions by the way,
Unlearning?
we
Oh,
ask
sorry.
at the end
Yeah.
of every episode.
I meant to say that.
Something that I'm unlearning. That's a really great question. I feel like there's a lot. I think it goes back to boundaries. Unlearning not having boundaries and being okay with it, knowing that it's actually a good thing, and it helps have you can have healthier relationships when you have them. But boundaries are really difficult.
No,
Yeah, so
I
that's
believe
something.
We're all working on it.
I know, yeah. So no one's alone in this.
No.
Yeah, it really
Everyone's
is,
dealing
yeah.
with boundaries and
Yeah.
working on them. And they
Mhm.
change.
They
It's
do.
normal.
Yeah.
We're normalizing it.
See, you're good. Done.
Good.
You got your degree.
I got my degree.
You got your CHED degree. Second question.
Hey.
Very important. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
There we go. I love how quick you
Okay, are we
answered that.
taking a tally yet?
I think the tally is everyone likes
Dogs,
dogs
so
more
far,
than cats.
so
Oh.
far.
Yeah, so
Okay.
and I don't blame them because dogs are great.
They are.
They're so playful.
Hey, I love cats too. I own a pet sitting business, but if I had to choose cats or dogs,
Yeah.
Gun to your head. And the last question is, and you kind of said this, but what's the one takeaway you really want people to have for your specific business, like
Mhm.
of what you do?
Never think that what you experienced is not bad enough to receive help for. Don't compare yourself, because it's valid. You experienced that, and if it's bothering you, you're allowed to prioritize that and get help.
I love that.
it's a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Siobhan.
Thank
this
you.
was really fun having
Yeah,
you
this
on
was fun.
here.
We
Yeah.
should do this again.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Of course.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll find some mental dilemma we need to bring you in for
I'm
you
always
to be our
here.
new expert. But yeah, absolutely. And it was such a pleasure working with you today.
Same. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for making the time.
Of course.